Look around. Do you see the miracles? Do you see the divine intervention? When we open our eyes and look for the miracles, big and small, life is different. Let's explore miracles, schmiracles on this episode of the Educators Among Us podcast.
Welcome to the Educators Among Us podcast, where we share motivational messages and inspiring stories for and about educators. Your host, Scott Barron, is author of the critically acclaimed book, Love 'Em and Lead 'Em, and provides powerful insights and wisdom for those who heed the call to teach, coach, lead, and serve at all levels of education.
This is Scott Barron, and I'm honored to be your host for the Educators Among Us podcast. This is a program that is really intended to be a moment of encouragement, of perspective, a little oomph for those who serve in education. You know, they're teachers, they're coaches, they are board members, they're administrators, they are part of the business office, the guidance office. Everybody that's involved in education, you make a difference. You make a difference in so many lives, and we really believe in the impact that you have, because we know for sure that talented, energized, engaged educators, they change the world because they bring an energy to wanting to learn and to grow and to find a new way forward, to innovate and to solve problems and to discover dreams and to overcome obstacles. And that's what educators do. That's why this is such a life-changing career as well as a calling. And so thank you. Thank you for being in the mix, for being there for people, and being ready in season and out of season for the challenge of this work. Is it hard? You bet it is. Of course it's hard. And especially as we're in the season now, many of you are on break. This is Christmas week for many of you, and we have a chance to kind of step back from all the hustle and bustle and of work and be involved in the hustle and bustle of presents or other things that are going on with family. And so hopefully this is a very special time for you, and you're able to kind of remember, just to sit back and remember, especially the miracles, right? There's been a lot of miracles for many of you in 2024, things that you've experienced. And that it's important to have that time to remember miracles, right? Eric Metaxas once said, the greatest miracle of all time, without any close seconds, is the universe. Right? It is the miracle of all miracles, one that ineluctably points with the combined brightness of every star to something, to someone beyond itself, right? The miracle of the universe is so powerful. There are some people who, would quite a question, do miracles really exist, and what do we know about them? And one thing to think about, of course, is would you know a miracle if you saw one, right? And if you did, how would you respond in that moment? As we said, some say miracles happen every day, right? And if we would only change our perception of what a miracle is. Others believe that miracles they're just myths, right? Propagated in ignorance. Stories of supernatural involvement they're contrived and unnecessary because science already has the answers. We've got it figured out, right? But yet, apart from divine intervention and revelation, we don't truly understand how life began. We don't understand how we have human consciousness, or especially what happens after we die, right? These are critical questions, and without some acceptance of miracles, there's no answer, and that's the challenge, right? The miracle of your mind isn't that you see the world as it is. It's that you can see the world as it isn't. Catherine Schultz. gave us that wisdom. And it's true, right? It's our ability, that mind, that consciousness to be able to understand something bigger. That's not easily explained with science. So what is our most likely response when face to face with a miraculous experience? What would you do? What do you do, right? Would we question why this is happening and whether it's genuinely trustworthy, right? We'd say, yeah, really? Right? Is that what you would do? Or would we accept the pathway revealed despite the obvious life-changing risks? Perhaps it's a miracle of direction and a calling. And would we accept it? Would we follow even though? Would we accept, or would we rejoice when we go tell others, right? When we experience the miracle, do we go tell others about the incredible things that we witnessed? Do we get excited and want to go, guess what, right? What would we do? Or would we possibly disregard the remarkable occurrence as just random chance? Miracles happen. Miracles happen to us in ways, of course, they happen sometimes as a result of us seeking them, and sometimes they happen when we're not, right? But they're there. It's an interesting thing about life, isn't it? He performs wonders that cannot be fathomed, miracles that cannot be counted, said Job 5:9. Life is full of miracles. It's odd how easily we move on from those dreams and deliverances of yesteryear, those experiences of miracles, where healing happened, perhaps, and despite expert predictions of certain suffering and even death, there was not only did we survive, but we found a way to thrive, right? Safety and protection was granted, even though disaster was obviously assured. It was inevitable. And yet there was a miracle, right? A pathway was provided when hope and direction was unknown, right? But we found success. We found success anyway after all hope had vanished. It was a miracle. I'm not at all ashamed to say that I believe in miracles, and I've witnessed a few myself in my own life. They become more evident to those who develop a courageous and intelligent faith. So may your faith and faithfulness enable you to see the miracles, my friend, as your love gives hope to others. And that's our calling, right? We, as educators in all roles, at all levels, we give hope. In many lives, we are the spark for the miracle. How cool is that? The awesome calling, the awesome opportunity to be an educator. And thank you for being a part of that work, for answering that calling. And hopefully you use these messages as not only encouragement for you, but also for others in your sphere of influence. You're a leader. You are an influencer. And we count on you to share the story of what's happening here with the Educators Among Us podcast. And hopefully you're able to maybe to give either the link or even some of the words here as a part of just as a friend for someone who needs that encouragement, as a colleague who maybe is seeking to grow, or maybe as a group and you're trying to figure out how do we work together? How do we build a culture that is deeply able to love and to lead, right? Because we're the miracle. Hey, a coaching question to consider as you're going through this very special week. Did I do my best to see the miracles today? Did I do my best to see the miracles today? You are a blessing, my friend. Love them and lead them. This is Scott.
Thank you for joining us for the Educators Among Us podcast and for your courageous commitment to this noble calling. We get you and the challenges of this work. To stay connected with this community, be sure to subscribe to our podcast and weekly encouragement at educatorsamongus.com.